Chris with Kelley's Detail here. Update on the 2019 Redeye build that never ever stops. Tonight we'll be installing an AAD drag kit. Not really sure what we're doing, but we're going to learn along the way. As we go along, we'll show you some bits and pieces of the install. So you'll see throughout the video, we'll be bouncing from driver side and passenger side just because we had to lower the cradle, and as of right now, we have the cradle lowered on the driver side. The passenger side is still held on by one of the retaining bolts. So we'll get you over here on the driver side and show you what we've done so far. One of the first things you'll have to do when you start getting into this project is you'll have to lower the cradle. It has 4 retaining bolts, this being one of them, which is going to start right here, like bolt straight up to there, and then in the front right here. And then it's going to be the same thing on the other side. So what we did is we loosened all of them and then completely removed the driver side, so that way the passenger side is still retaining, the driver side is down, so we have access to the bolts. The first thing that we did was this rear tow arm. It's pretty easy. You remove the bolt that's right here connected to the hub, and then you remove this one up here that's on the cradle. Once you remove those two, this comes out. You pick your adjustment, at least a starting point before you go get your alignment, and then you put it all together. Forgot to mention, before you loosen the cradle bolts, you will want to loosen this brake line right here. It sits right up here. It's a 10 millimeter bolt. Once you loosen that, the brake line will come free, and then you can just lower the driver side or passenger side, whatever you're working on. So we actually just jacked the car up for this one. We didn't have to lower the cradle or anything for the front trailing arm. There's a nut and a bolt right here. You just remove that, remove the one that's attached to the hub, and it just, essentially just comes right out. It's a pretty easy install, and it can be done on the ground. You don't have to lower the cradle or do anything special for that. Alright, so on the driver's side, the last two that we have to get bolted up is the upper control arms, which is this one, and this one is missing currently. Not missing, it's right here. We just haven't installed it yet. Anyway, back to what we were doing. The front upper control arm is held on by this bolt right here. You will have to drop the cradle down for this install. Some people say you can cut the bolt. I'm not cutting anything. It also says in the instructions to cut this metal out so you can access the bolt. Notice there's nothing cut, no issues. If you drop the cradle, you'll have access to everything that you need to. And then once you remove this nut and the bolt right here, you come over to the hub, remove that as well. As you can see, there's no jack supporting this side, so you don't need any type of support to install this upper control arm or this one. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below, and we're going to keep on plugging through, and yeah. What you're also going to want to do is get you a homeboy named Adam.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
He's been helping me throughout this whole process, and yeah, big thanks to him. So once you put all the arms in, it's a pretty easy job, especially if you got your homie with you. One thing you'll want to be aware of is make sure you tighten your brake cable back. And when we first started, we got hung up with the spring, only for a second. But just be aware of when you're dropping everything, make sure your e-brake cable is out of the way. You know, you want to make sure that everything's going back the way it came off. And then look at how sexy those arms are. Check it out. P.S. I can't wait to show you the good parts that we're doing all this for. 915's coming soon. So I don't know if this is like a necessity or not. I think they recommended it to put some of this grease. It's very, very thick, and I'm probably using way too much over the bushing. From what I know is that it'll help with the squeaking and then maybe the drivability of the ride as far as like noises and auditory. Probably will help it grease the bushings and stuff too, but it comes with the kit. I'm just doing it around the middle and then kind of just doing all over the place since there's a bunch of this stuff. So I'll go ahead and show you how to do the front upper control arm. Once you take out the bolts, you remove the old one or the factory one. You're going to use the same factory bolts that you took out. You go ahead and put it in here. Keep in mind this cradle is dropped a fair amount. Slide that through. And then you'll take the other factory bolt. You go from the inside of the hub and push that through. You might have to wiggle a little bit.
Go ahead, you wiggle. Just move the arm.
It's gotta get lifted up. Also reuse the factory nuts. So you're using the factory bolts and factory nuts. The one with the bigger washer goes on the bottom, or on the inside, I guess you would say. And then the smaller one will go up into the cradle area. In place, right? Spring is good to go. Yep. More? Keep going. Keep going. We're good. Yep.